Good morning and welcome to Craner's Corner with daily technical update. It is Tuesday the 20th of August, and today we'll start with Tesla that has been trading higher after the massive sell-off here early August, like in many other tech stocks, and it is now pushing towards the key resistance 234.25. That is key, but this gap area here is the key level. It should be broken. However, if we do get the RSI back above 60 threshold before we reach its 234.25, well, then I will be fairly confident that it will break higher when it gets to there. So let's see about that in the coming days and weeks. On the very quickly on the Nikkei index, that actually did close below its minor support here at 37,330 yesterday, but has now bounced a little bit back. I actually think we will see Nikkei being range bound between 37,000 and 39,000. 39,220, then we are basically back in bullish trend, and that could be confirmed with RSI being above 60 threshold. What is above 60 threshold is on the US indices. We have S&P 500 closing above yesterday and also closed above the 5,566 resistance after taking out this falling trend line, very close to its all-time highs there at 5,670, just a few cents below that. It could challenge that in the short term. On the other hand, we have Nasdaq 100 that is also above 60 threshold, just with a fraction here, indicating we're likely to see higher levels on Nasdaq, but we have a strong resistance area here, 20,040, 20,211, that gap area here, and the 786 retracement. But if it can take out that, well, then it's also looking at all-time highs. But it will be a little bit of a challenge to break this level here. I would expect a little bit of a setback if we get up there within the next couple of days. In the European market that just opened about 45 minutes ago or so, or a little bit an hour ago, we have the EUROSTOXX 50 RSI testing the 60 threshold. Can it break above, and can it break above 49.0708 resistance here? Well, then we still have the 100 moving average coming down, giving a little bit of resistance. We have the cloud area, so that will be a little bit of a struggle, but it is actually knocking on the door, so to speak, at the moment. So these key levels here on the RSI and the index should be watched. DAX index currently above 60 threshold. Can it close above? And I think it will. It actually did close. No, it didn't close above yesterday, but it can do it today. It closed above, DAX index closed above the cloud, and it is opening up the cloud today, and it could be on its way to test previous peaks. We have 18,779 here, and also here we have 18,890. Can it get up there? It is not unlikely. We are above all moving averages, and they're turning around, so that we could be in for a little bit of further upside potential. Amsterdam index struggling a little bit more, but it closed above the 907 resistance yesterday. RSI still below 60, so there's a little bit of struggling going on there, but it could crawl higher in the next couple of days towards the 927.25 resistance, fairly strong resistance there. Key question will be, can RSI confirm this uptrend here within the next week or so? That will be key to watch out for, but there is a strong overhead resistance there. If it moves back below 900, then expect it being hit by a sell-off lower. CAC 40 also strong yesterday, actually closed above the key resistance at 7,464. And I think it can actually challenge higher towards the resistance at 7,584.5. Key will also be here. Can RSI close above 60 threshold or not? If it does, well, then there's potential up to 77.25, possibly higher, but that will be very strong resistance here. As you can see, the 100 moving average coming down and the 200 moving average also there. So really strong overhead resistance. So it is still lacking quite a bit. As you can see, it's quite below its previous all-time highs. Swiss market is very close to its all-time high. It's above the cloud. RSI also now above the very close to the 60 threshold. I think it will close above later today, and I think we could see a push towards previous all-time highs here, and possibly test it. And if you just say, well, 12,434 is the all-time high, there's not really much resistance until then. So the only key question will be that can it close above 60 threshold on the RSI or not. On the FX front and euro dollar, that pushed again higher yesterday. Well, next level is 111 and 111.40, and if we zoom out a little bit, let's see if we can do that. Here we are. Then we can see where it comes from. It comes back from December 23. These peaks here and closing high, so I think we will reach that fairly shortly, and then we'll have a setback after reaching that. Euro sterling struggling a little bit, which is not a surprise really. You can see here, I think we could still push down to test the 85, could also break below it. Interesting thing is though that we do have a still positive RSI, and we also have no divergence, so look out for a break of this falling trend line. If RSI moves back above 60 and above the falling trend line there in a little bit of bounce back here on your sterling, and then we could see it pushing higher. But it also needs to get back above the 200 moving average, which is currently declining, so it's actually putting a little bit of pressure on euro sterling, so it will struggle, I think, for the next few days or week or so. Cable on the other hand pushing higher, which is one of the main reasons why euro sterling is a bit under pressure. 130.45 previous peak there on cable. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating likely higher highs, and there is actually potential up to 130, 135, which is a resistance area that goes back all the way also here to July last year, those peaks there. Dollar yen bounced a little bit this early morning, but now it's already set back since I prepared this about half an hour ago or so. So it is struggling, as we can see. We are it has resumed downtrend, still below the falling trend line. RSI in a negative sentiment. We could see it pushing below 145. It just touched there yesterday, just above it. 61.8. I think we'll see it pushing down to in this region here around 144, 143. Euro yen did test the support here at 160.55. It's actually a minor support, but it seems to be key, because if it does close below it, and if we have another second break below it, we'll see RSI back below 40, confirming the bearish sentiment or the negative sentiment, and the bearish trend to resume. If it does move above 164, and I think we don't need a close above, but if we do get a close above, we'll confirm uptrend to 167.50, 168. Aussie yen, not much going on. It is holding on to its bouncing mode, potential up to 99.90, where we have strong resistance. We have 200 moving average coming in there, acting really like an overhead resistance. So it is struggling a little bit to find its direction. 96.75. If it takes out that, then expect downtrend to resume. Sterling yen, key support 187.85, resistance 190.04. Breakout of that range, I think, will tell you about the direction. I think it will be to the downside, but let's see. If it does break out to the downside, then we are looking at levels around 183 down here, the previous lower closes. I don't think we'll get all the way down there, but it's not unlikely. If it does break above 192.05, well, then there's potential up to 197.65. Aussie dollar really on the move at the moment. A massive move yesterday above the cloud. RSI back above 60 threshold. I think we could see it test the 68 level, the previous peak here from July 24. but there's potential up to 68.70 where we have some stronger resistance, and we are in a bullish trend, so it is not unlikely we will get up there. We have the dollar Canada that broke below the 786 retracement yesterday, and the RSI back below 40, cancelling this positive sentiment. So it's really, that was not a correction that was larger than normal. It seems to be a push down to test the key strong support here at 135.90. That will be key to look out for. I think it will be tested within the next 24 to 84 hours, and then we could see a bounce. But if it breaks all the way through, well, then we're looking 135, 134 and a half. But I would expect a little bit of a bounce. EURUSD, well, we have a bearish engulfing here this morning, which is not that reliable. However, we have a negative sentiment on the RSI, and I think we'll see EURUSD sliding lower in coming days. Could slide lower to 94.45, which is the 38.2 retracement, this level there. It really needs to break above 96.12 for any upside potential. Dollar Swiss being hit by a selling pressure, and 61.8 retracement, I think will be tested possibly today or tomorrow, so within the next 2 days or so. 85.53, but it could push all the way down to these low closes here at around 85 level, so look out for that. And it needs to get back above these peaks here at 87.5 for dollar Swiss to change that bearish direction at the moment. Dollar index testing key support at 101.62. If it breaks below that, well, then there is not much stopping it before 100, but I guarantee you it will do a correction before then. But expect a little bit of bounce, and then I think it will break through. Gold pushing higher at the moment towards the 138.2 projecting at 25.21. I think it will push higher in the coming days and weeks towards 25.50, 25.65 in this region here. And if we look at the weekly chart just very quickly, we can see that there's really not much stopping it. We are in a bullish trend. There is a little bit divergent building up, but trust the trend with higher highs and higher lows. I think we'll see gold pushing higher. It did try to get back below the 24.84 support yesterday, but buyer seems to be too strong for that. Also on silver, currently it's breaking above the 29.45 resistance, and the RSI testing the 60 threshold. If it can close above 60, then expect a push above $30, and also towards the 32 area up here in the coming weeks. It will take a little bit longer, I believe, but it has broken this bearish trend there. On the copper futures, very close to test the 422.35 resistance. If it does close above, well, then there's potential up to 440, which is a 61.8 retracement of the last leg down here in this wedge-like formation. It is currently testing the upper falling trend line in this larger channel, so we are at a key junction at the moment, key area fairly shortly. However, we do have the RSI still struggling to get up to the 60 threshold, but if we do get above 422.35, I think it will break higher on the RSI and then confirm the uptrend. WTI, well, same technical picture overall as we talked about yesterday. As you can see, WTI and also Brent crude forming this this is a symmetrical triangle. We could see a test of previous lows there at 72.40, and if it takes out 71.67, which is the lows there, well, then it could be a bearish breakout of the triangle. Same picture on Brent crude, really, as you can see. The triangle-like pattern. It will be a little bit early before those two lines meet, so maybe we'll have a little bit of a bounce back here in the coming days. Finally, on the US 10-year Treasury yields, 379 key support that should be observed. If it takes out the low from the other day here at 379, well, then a push lower towards 373, 370 could be expected. Otherwise, I expect it to be range bound here for the next few days. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and happy trading.